Let's face it, respect isn't something you can demand, it's something you inspire. But here's the kicker, most people go about it all wrong. They play it safe, blend in, or wait around, hoping someone will notice them. Spoiler alert, that's not how it works. If you want people to respect you, not tomorrow, not next week, but starting right now, you need to show up differently. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how some of it might surprise you, some of it might challenge you, but all of it works. Let's get started. 1. Be honest, even when it's hard. Let's talk about honesty for a minute. I know, tell the truth always. That's what we were taught as kids, right? Sounds so simple. But hold on, as you get older, you realize honesty is hard, it's uncomfortable, it feels risky, and sometimes it feels like it could cost you big time. I mean, how many times have you held back the truth because you didn't want to hurt someone's feelings or rock the boat? Here's where it gets controversial. The world's filled with people who hide behind little white lies or sugarcoat everything, and guess what? They're usually the ones everyone likes but respect. That's a different story. The people who actually get the respect, the ones who stand out, are the ones who are unapologetically honest, even when it's not the easiest option. Let me break it down for you. Honesty doesn't mean unloading every raw thought that pops into your head. I'm not talking about walking into a party and saying, "Hey, Dave, that sweater is so ugly, it's making my eyes bleed." No, real honesty is about facing the uncomfortable truths about yourself, about situations, and about others, and still choosing to speak up. It's about having the courage to stand for what you believe is right, even if the truth hurts, even if it costs you something, even if people don't like it. I'll never forget a time when I had to face this head-on. I was in a relationship, and let me tell you, it was the kind of relationship that looked great on paper, but I knew deep down that something wasn't right. I kept telling myself, maybe I'm overthinking this, maybe I should just ignore it, but I couldn't. One night we were talking about our future, and the moment felt perfect, but I knew I couldn't keep pretending everything was fine. I had to say it. So I told them, I don't think we're on the same page about what we want in life. You could have cut the tension with a knife. It was brutal. I was shaking because I knew this truth might end things. It did end things, and I won't lie saying that was one of the hardest things I've ever done. But here's the kicker after that. I felt a weight lift off my shoulders, and more importantly, I gained something that's more valuable than anything. Respect, not just from the person I was with, but from myself. I showed myself that I wasn't willing to settle for a lie, even a lie that felt comfortable at the moment. And from that day forward, I started attracting people who respected me for that. Honesty. Now don't get me wrong, honesty isn't about being a jerk or a truth bomb dropper for fun. It's not about walking into work and telling your co-worker, "Hey, I don't like your new haircut," or "You've been slacking lately." That's not honesty, that's just bad manners. But here's the truth. Bomb in situations that matter, whether it's your career, your relationships, or even your personal development. Honesty is the secret weapon to earning respect. Have you ever been in a room full of people who are just going along with the flow, nodding, agreeing, laughing at the wrong jokes, and then one person says something that cuts through the noise, that says, "No, this isn't right," or "We need to do better"? Everyone feels that, don't they? They respect that person. Why? Because honesty, real raw honesty, creates clarity. People don't have to guess where you stand. They don't have to wonder if you're pretending to like them or play nice to fit in. But let me drop a deep truth here. Honesty isn't just about how others see you. It's about how you see yourself. The more you tell the truth, even when it hurts, the more you'll trust your own voice. And when you trust your own voice, your confidence skyrockets. You stop doubting yourself and start toning your choices. You stop bending over backward to please others and start showing up as the real you. No apologies, no filters. So here's my challenge to you. Next time you're in a situation where honesty is tough, when you're tempted to tell a white lie or stay quiet to avoid conflict. Ask yourself, am I willing to lose a little comfort right now to earn real respect in the long run? Trust me when you choose honesty. Even when it's uncomfortable, you'll gain more respect than you ever imagined. And the best part, you'll respect yourself more than ever. Honesty may sting, but the respect it brings, that's priceless. So go ahead, speak your truth, even when it's hard, because at the end of the day, the truth always wins. All right, let's move on to the next one. 2. Stop chasing people. All right, let's get real for a second. Why do we chase people? Whether it's that friend who always canals that crush, who forgets to text back, or even that boss who never seems to notice your hard work. Why do we keep running after people who couldn't care less? Here's where it gets controversial. Chasing people isn't just desperate, it's disrespectful. And I'm not talking about disrespecting them. I'm talking about disrespect, respecting yourself. Yeah, I said it. Every time you chase someone, you're essentially saying, hey, I don't think I'm worth your effort, so I'll overcompensate by making all the effort for both of us. Ouch, right? I learned this lesson the hard way. There was this friend, let's call him Jake. Jake was the life of the party, always had the best stories, and everyone wanted to be around him, including me. But here's the thing, Jake, he couldn't be bothered to text me back or show up when we made plans. At first I thought maybe he's just busy, so I'd follow up. And when he still didn't respond, I'd send another message, and then another. You know what that looked like? Me throwing out energy like confetti, while Jake sat back, not even noticing. One day it hit me. I was doing all the work to maintain a friendship that didn't exist, unless I was the one holding it together. So I stopped cold turkey. I didn't text him, didn't invite him out, didn't even like his Instagram posts. You know what happened? Nothing. Jake didn't notice because Jake didn't care. And yeah, that stung at first, but after a while I realized something huge. I had been wasting all that energy on someone who didn't deserve it, when I could have been investing in people who actually showed up for me. Now, let me guess you're thinking, but what if they really are just busy? What if I stop chasing and I lose them forever? Newsflash, if your absence doesn't make them care, your presence wasn't doing much either. Harsh, I know, but the truth hurts before it sets you free. Here's the deep part of this chasing. People is rooted in fear. Fear of being alone. Fear of not being good enough. Fear that if you stop trying, you'll lose the connection completely. But here's what you need to understand. The people who truly value you, they don't need to be chased. They show up willingly. They make time for you. Because they want to. Let me tell you something. I realized when you stop chasing people, 2 things happen. First, you free up all that energy you were wasting. And second, you make space for the people who actually value you to come into your life. It's like cleaning out a closet. You've got to let go of the junk to make room for something better. And let's not forget, when you chase people, you're giving them all the power. You're saying your attention is more important than my dignity. No, no, no. Flip the script. When you stop chasing, you take back control. You stop begging for crumbs and start demanding full meals. And let me tell you, the moment you stop chasing people, notice they may not say it, but they'll feel it. And suddenly you go from being an afterthought to someone they actually respect. Think of it this way. Have you ever tried chasing a dog? What happens? The dog runs faster, but when you stop, when you just stand there, what does the dog do? Eventually, it comes back. Now, I'm not saying people are dogs, okay? Maybe some people, but you get my point. So stop chasing, stop overextending, and if they don't come back, good riddance, because the people worth having in your life are the ones who walk beside you, not the ones who make you sprint after them. Here's the deeper truth. When you stop chasing people, you teach yourself a powerful lesson, that your time, energy, and love are valuable, that you don't need to convince anyone to care about you, because the right people already will. And when you start living that truth, you become magnetic. Respect isn't something you'll have to chase. It'll come to you naturally. So what's it going to be? Keep running after people who aren't looking back, or stand tall and let them meet you where you are. The choice is yours. All right, let's keep this momentum going on to the next one. 3. Stay calm. Under pressure. It's everywhere, at work, in relationships, even at the grocery store when someone's breathing down your neck in the checkout line. And let's face it, most people crumble under it. They panic, they yell, they make rash decisions, and then wonder why nobody takes them seriously. Here's the harsh truth. The way you handle pressure says everything about you. Staying calm when the heat's on, that's a power move. It screams, "I've got this," even if deep down you're figuring it out as you go. But here's where it gets spicy. Staying calm under pressure isn't just about looking cool, it's about earning respect. Why? Because people trust the person who doesn't lose their mind when things get messy. Let me tell you about a time when I learned this the hard way. I was leading this project at work, huge deadline, lots of moving parts, and of course everything that could go wrong. The client was calling non-stop. My team was stressed, and my inbox looked like a war zone. I felt the panic rising, and for a second I wanted to just yell, throw my laptop, and disappear into a cave somewhere. But then I stopped myself. I took a deep breath, literally stepped outside, and asked, what's the worst that can happen? I realized worst case. We'd miss the deadline, and I'd have to own up to it. Not ideal, but not the end of the world. That clarity gave me the focus to get back in there, stay calm, and rally the team. And guess what? We pulled it off barely, but we did. Later, one of my co-workers came up to me and said, "Honestly, the only reason I didn't lose it was because you didn't." That's when it hit me. Staying calm isn't just about managing yourself. It's about setting the tone for everyone around you. People respect the calm one in the storm because they feel safe with you. Now here's the controversial part. Staying calm doesn't mean you're emotionless. It doesn't mean you're some Zen monk who never gets rattled. It's okay to feel the pressure. It's human. But what separates respected people from the rest is what they do with that feeling. Most people react. Calm people respond. Big difference. Reacting is what toddlers do when they don't get candy. Responding, that's what leaders do when the world feels like it's falling apart. And let's be real, people love to test you under pressure. Have you noticed this? The moment you look stressed, it's like sharks smelling blood in the water. Bosses pile on more tasks, customers get snarkier, and suddenly your friend decides now's the time to talk about your attitude lately. It's like life wants you to snap. But when you stay calm, oh, it's a power play. They don't know what to do with it. You flip the script, and suddenly they're the ones scrambling. Think of staying calm like being a duck on a pond above water. You look like you're gliding effortlessly underneath. Sure, you're paddling like crazy, but nobody sees that part. And let me tell you, the more you practice this, the less you'll even need to paddle. Calm becomes your default. You stop faking it, and it starts to feel real. Here's the deeper message. Staying calm under pressure isn't just about earning respect. It's about protecting your peace. Life is chaos. You can't control everything, but you can control how you show up. And when you learn to stay calm, you become unshakable. That's not just powerful, it's rare, and rare is always respected. Look, I'm not saying this is easy. I've had moments, plenty of them, where I wanted to scream into a pillow or rage quit life for 5 minutes. But here's what I've learned. The person who stays calm under pressure becomes the person everyone else looks up to. They're the steady hand. When everyone else is losing it, they're the one people trust. So next time you're under pressure, whether it's a tight deadline, a heated argument, or I don't know, trying to parallel park with people watching, take a deep breath. Remind yourself that the world won't end and glide like a duck. Trust me, people will notice, and more importantly, they'll respect you for it. All right, let's keep this calm energy flowing on to the next one. 4. Control your temper. All right, let's talk about anger. Everyone's favorite little firecracker emotion. We all have that one moment where we completely lose it, screaming at a bad driver, slamming a door, or sending that rage text we immediately regret. But here's the deal. If you can't control your temper, people won't respect you. They'll fear you. Maybe, or worse, they'll write you off as a ticking time bomb. They don't want to be around. Here's the controversial part. Anger isn't the problem. The problem is how you handle it. And let me tell you something honest. There's nothing more human than feeling anger. It's natural, it's valid, and sometimes it's even necessary. But letting it control you, that's where you lose. Because nothing screams, "I'm not in charge of my life," louder than a temper tantrum, whether you're 5 or 50. I'll never forget this time in college. I was working on a group project, and one of the guys, let's call him Matt, was completely useless, didn't show up to meetings, didn't contribute anything, but somehow had the nerve to criticize our work the night before the deadline. I was furious. My first instinct was to tear into him right there in front of everyone, and believe me, I almost did. But then something clicked. I thought, what's the point? Is yelling going to make him suddenly care, or is it just going to make me look like the unhinged one? So instead, I took a deep breath, looked him dead in the eye and said, "Matt, if you're not going to help, just stay out of the way." The room went silent. Matt didn't say a word. But after that, everyone else in the group came up to me, saying thank you for handling that. That's when I realized controlling your temper isn't about bottling up your anger. It's about channeling it into something productive. And when you do that, people take notice. They see you as someone who's composed, decisive, and worth listening to. Now, let's be real. Controlling your temper isn't easy. I mean, have you seen social media lately? It's like a full-time job, not to flip out at strangers in the comments section. But here's the thing. Every time you let your temper get the best of you, you're handing over your power. You're saying, "Here, take my peace of mind, and stomp all over it." And who wants to give anyone that satisfaction? Not me. And definitely not you. Think of your temper like a wildfire. If you let it rage unchecked, it'll destroy everything in its path. Your reputation, your relationships, your opportunities. But if you learn to control it, it becomes like a campfire, warm, focused, and even useful. The trick is knowing when to let it burn and when to put it out. Here's the deeper truth. Controlling your temper isn't just about how others see you. It's about how you see yourself when you lose your temper. It feels like the anger owns you, like you're just a passenger in your own life. But when you learn to control it, you're no longer a victim of your emotions. You become the driver. And let's not forget anger. When controlled, can actually be powerful. It can fuel change, inspire action and set boundaries. But uncontrolled anger, that's just noise, and nobody respects noise. Now am I saying you should never get angry? Absolutely not. I'm saying you should pick your battles. Do you really need to lose your mind because someone cut you off in traffic, or because the barista got your coffee order wrong number? Save that energy for the moments that actually matter. Because when you do get angry and you handle it with grace, people will feel it. They'll know you mean business. So next time you feel your temper rising, pause, take a breath. Ask yourself, is this worth my peace? Is this worth my power? Most of the time, the answer will be no. And when it is, let it go. Because the person who can stay calm and controlled, even when they're angry, is the person who commands respect every single time. Control your temper, and you control the room. It's not about pretending you're never mad. It's about being smart enough to handle it. Like a boss. Trust me, people will notice and they'll respect you for it. All right, let's keep this fire controlled and move on to the next one. 5. Walk with purpose. All right, let's talk about walking. No, not the basic act of putting one foot in front of the other. We all know how to do that. I'm talking about walking with purpose. And before you roll your eyes and think, how is walking supposed to earn me respect? Hear me out. The way you carry yourself is the first thing people notice about you. Your walk is like your life's opening statement. Are you saying I'm in control, or I don't even know where I'm going? Because trust me, people can tell. Now, here's the controversial bit. I'm not saying you need to stomp around like you're auditioning for a superhero movie, but if you're shuffling your feet staring at the ground, or walking like you've got all the time in the world, you're basically screaming, I'm unsure, unmotivated, and not worth noticing. Ouch, right? But hey, I've been there too. I'll never forget this one time in college. I had an important interview, first one ever, and I was terrified. I got there early, but instead of sitting down and gathering myself, I kept pacing in the hallway, head down, slouching, probably mumbling to myself. And sure enough, when the interviewer walked out, the first thing he said was, "Are you okay? You look nervous in that moment." I realized something before I even opened my mouth. I'd already told him a story about who I was, and it wasn't a good one that day. I promised myself I'd never let my body language betray me like that again. Now, don't get me wrong, walking with purpose doesn't mean you need to strut around like you're on a fashion runway. You're not trying to intimidate people, you're trying to signal confidence. And here's the kicker, you don't even need to feel confident to do it. That's the magic of it. You fake the walk, and soon enough, your brain catches up. It's like tricking yourself into believing you've got your life together, because let's face it, none of us fully do see the difference when you walk with purpose. You're not just moving, you're making a statement. Your head's up, your shoulders are back, your strides are steady, and you look like you've got places to be. Even if you're just heading to the fridge, it's not about arrogance, it's about presence. People notice that, they respect it. Here's the deeper truth. Walking with purpose isn't just about how others see you. It's about how you see yourself when you move, like you matter. You start to believe that you do matter. It's a subtle shift, but it changes everything. Suddenly, you're not just going through the motions. You're showing up for yourself. You're saying, I belong here, and I've got something to contribute. And let's be honest, walking with purpose isn't just about confidence. It's about intention. It's about asking yourself, why am I here? Where am I going? Whether it's in your career, your relationships, or your day-to-day life, when you walk, like you know the answer to those questions, people respect you. They might not know what your purpose is, but they can feel that you have one. But here's the thing, purpose doesn't have to mean saving the world or having your entire life figured out. It can be as simple as showing up fully in whatever you're doing, heading to a meeting, walk in like you've got ideas worth sharing, running errands, walk like your time matters. Because when you move with purpose, you're sending a message not just to others, but to yourself, that you're someone who takes their life seriously. And here's the part no one talks about. Walking with purpose doesn't mean you're never scared or uncertain. It means you're choosing to show up anyway. It means you're saying, yeah, I don't have all the answers, but I'm here and I'm moving forward. And that's where real respect begins. So next time you step out that door, remember, your walk is your first impression. Walk like you matter. Walk like you've got somewhere to be, even if it's just back to bed. Because when you walk with purpose, people notice, and when they notice, they respond. Respect. So here we are. We've talked about honesty, staying calm, controlling your temper, and so much more things that might seem simple, but aren't always easy to do. And let me just say this. If you've made it to the end of this video, it tells me something about you. It tells me that you're not here to just exist. You're here to grow, to learn to show up as someone people respect. Not because you're perfect, but because you're real. Respect isn't about being the loudest, the richest, or the most impressive person in the room. It's about being authentic, consistent, and courageous enough to live your truth, even when it's uncomfortable. And let's be honest, that's rare these days. It's easy to fake confidence, to chase approval, or to blow up when things don't go your way. But the people who earn real respect, they don't fall into those traps. They rise above. Let me share something personal. When I was younger, I used to think respect was about proving something. I wanted people to like me, to validate me, to tell me I was enough. But the more I chased it, the less I got it. And you know why? Because I wasn't being me. I was performing for approval, and people could see through it. It wasn't until I started owning my flaws, my boundaries, and my truth that things began to shift. I'm not saying it's easy. Sometimes being honest will make you lose. People staying calm when you want to explode will feel impossible, and controlling your temper when everything inside you is screaming to let loose, it'll feel like a battle. But here's the thing. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you're building something stronger: your character, your confidence, your self-respect. All right, let's lighten it up a bit. If you're watching this and thinking, wow, I've got some work to do, welcome to the club. Respect is a journey, not a destination. None of us have it all figured out. But the good news is, you don't need to. You just need to start. Maybe today. It's as simple as being honest in one conversation, staying calm in one stressful moment, or standing your ground when someone tests you. Small steps lead to big shifts. And hey, don't stress if you mess up, because you will. I still mess up all the time. The important thing is how you bounce back. Apologize when you need to learn from it, and keep moving forward. People respect effort and growth more than perfection. Here's the deeper message I want to leave you with. Respect starts with you. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for how others treat you. If you're honest with yourself, calm under pressure and firm in your boundaries, people will see that. They'll feel it. Respect isn't just about others. It's about the relationship you have with yourself. Build that, and the rest will follow. So here's your challenge. Pick one thing from this video and put it into practice today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Whether it's staying calm when your patience is tested, being honest when it's uncomfortable, or walking away from someone who doesn't value your worth, just start, because every small action you take toward being your best self is a step toward earning not just respect, but a life you're proud of. If this video resonated with you, if it made you think, laugh, or maybe even cringe a little, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. And don't forget to drop a comment below. Tell me which tip hit home the hardest, or share your own story about earning respect. You never know, your story could inspire someone else. At the end of the day, respect isn't about being perfect, it's about being real. So go out there, live your truth, and remember, respect starts with you. I'll see you in the next one.